Okay, what I'm going to do now is I have a bag of seagull bones that's about 2 years old. I fleshed the entire bird, but I haven't done anything with it. So I brought the bag out to where I flesh, and here it is here. So I'm going to open this up again and see what's inside. This was beside my small animal flesher. You can see it in some of the videos there, but I just brought it out into the sunlight. And what I'm going to do is I am going to sort out all of this small bone. Here's the beak. And I'm going to see what I can use. There's probably a lot of very useful parts in here. It just needs to be cleaned up. It's completely defleshed. There's some leaf litter on it, some wood debris, and some mud, but other than that, it's still pretty good. Now, this animal was a roadkill specimen. No, there's a vertebrae, so there's bound to be a lot of broken bone in there. So I'll just go through this and see what I can use. So this is pretty much all that is left of a seagull after 2 years decomposing in a trash bag. There is not a lot that I got that I can use, because where this was roadkill, I actually know the person who hit this. The seagull was left in the middle of the road it was overnight, and so there's a lot of vehicles that hit this. So a lot of the bone was very, very fractured. There's like really tiny, tiny little pieces. Not a lot of it is useful for making jewelry. I could always make tiny fragment beads. That is an idea. I could do fragment beads. But another thing is this has been out here for 2 years. So it's had a long time for natural erosion of the bones. You can tell, like, the feathers, they're completely turned into dirt. You can see that this was probably some of the down off the chest area. It's short, it is green. But in previous videos from last summer, you can see that all of this was bright green. Even the bones were green. But the bones aren't green anymore, and that's because I had opened the bag up and there'd gotten some water in. Now that did squish a lot of the bones, because bird bone is so fragile and porous, it will squish. It turns into mush if it's left in the water too long, which is why I warn against leaving bird bone in buckets, because it does get really, really fragile. More fragile than it is to begin with. Some of this, it just feels really soft. And it's that softness that makes it unusable. But this is a bird after 2 years decomp. Not a lot left. Now here's the parts I got out of it. A lot of it still is shattered, but I'm planning on doing some modification to the bone. Like if it's broken off, this is still pretty solid, so I think I should be able to saw this into smaller bead segments to make beads for sliding onto rope. Some stuff, I'm just going to cut it off and put loops in it. I'm going to be very creative. I'm going to try to use as much of this as I can. Now, one little treasure that I found while doing this is there was another trash bag underneath this, and I thought it may have been something of the seagull. Here's some fur here of what this animal had been. Now, the bones are quite large, and they're still in really good shape. Now, what made me know exactly what this was this wire here. Now, what this was is about quite a few years ago, I gotten some coyote heads from a trapper, and one of the heads had the feet in it, and this wire snare was around one of the feet. So I immediately took this off, but this got left in the bag with the feet. And the feet needed more time to flesh out, so I left the bag out. So the seagull would have got flopped on top of this bag. And there's some toe bones left in here. Here's one of the claws, and one of the little bones from inside the claw. And there's also a butterfly vertebrae and some other vertebrae. This is all extremely useful to me, and it's a really nice surprise to see this. And here's some ankle bones. It just shows me that you never know what had been forgotten out here that is useful. So not only did I find some seagull bones that are useful, but I also found a nice surprise of some coyote bones that I can use. So I am quite happy with that. These are some old turkey bones. Some of them are still strong, but I don't think they're anything that I'd use to make jewelry. I might use them in training Callie to sniff out bone, though. But anyway, this is pretty much what I do. You can really see there how well that has turned to compost. It's part of the top of the skull there. So it's really composted really well. That'd be really good for the garden because there has been no bleach or anything added to this. But there's the seagull and the coyote as well.